I want to go back to Scott Disick. Travis is not perfect for me. He is cheating on me. I have always had feelings for Scott, which is why I am now getting a divorce from Travis Barker.
So where's your head at with Court?
Honestly, I think for like the first time probably in my life, it's finally starting to change.
Scott Disick is finally revealing how he feels about Kourtney Kardashian's relationship with Travis.
You were pretty annoying for a little bit, but...
Why?
It was really sweet when you told me that you allow me to be friends with your family.
From Ithaca, New York, wants to know if you think you would have a shot with Kourtney if you had maintained your sobriety.
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah, probably.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I don't know.
I am pregnant.
You just keep suckering me into these kids.
I wasn't like planning
I can't
this.
handle all this responsibility.
He's just like severely depressed. He just makes up whatever like pills he thinks he needs to take.
Scott Disick has officially set the internet on fire after dropping what many are calling bombshell revelations about Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's marriage. For years, Travis has been sold to the public as a full-blown rock star fairy tale, non-stop PDA, steamy red carpets, lovey-dovey Instagram captions, and over-the-top declarations of soulmate love. But according to Scott, that picture-perfect romance may have been nothing more than smoke and mirrors. He claims the cracks were there from day one, quietly forming behind the scenes while fans were busy swooning over their public displays. What looked like an untouchable, love-drenched fantasy may have actually been covering up serious issues no one was meant to see. Allegedly, a lot of it was just for show. And now Scott's comments are pouring gasoline on the already growing divorce rumors, with many wondering if these so-called sudden problems have actually been simmering for years. This comes as a major shock to fans who believed Kourtney and Travis were inseparable, the ultimate proof that years of friendship can turn into forever. But if Scott's version of events holds any truth, then the glossy, hyper-romantic image of Travis might have been more about maintaining an image than living a reality. So buckle up, because we're diving straight into the mess to figure out whether Travis was doomed from the start or if Scott Disick is just stirring the pot.
Scott, no. Scott. Oh my God. No, Scott.
I hate him. I hate him.
No. You're walking to the beach. You're walking into you. Look at you, you all shut the f up. You pushed me out of the way. How old are you? 82.
We need to call the police.
Now Scott Disick has finally broken his silence on Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's marriage, and his words have left fans completely shook. For years, Scott watched from the sidelines as Kourtney's relationship with Travis unfolded in the public eye, looking like a full-blown fairy tale. But according to Scott, that glossy love story may not be nearly as perfect as it's been packaged to be. Kourtney and Travis quickly became one of the most talked-about couples in pop culture, known for their non-stop PDA, over-the-top romantic gestures, and headline-grabbing moments that made their relationship seem untouchable. From the beachside proposal surrounded by roses to not one, not two, but multiple extravagant weddings, fans truly believed Kourtney had finally found her happily ever after. But rewind for a second, because this romance didn't start the way most people think. Kourtney and Travis were just neighbors in Calabasas at first, friends for years before things suddenly crossed into romantic territory in early 2021, with insiders claiming Travis had feelings for her long before anything became public. Just weeks after rumors started swirling, the two confirmed the relationship themselves, going Instagram official with that now iconic hand-holding photo. And from that moment on, everything moved fast. Travis became deeply embedded in the Kardashian family, bonding closely with Kourtney's kids, something sources say Scott struggled with privately while watching his role slowly shift. Then came the proposal in October 2021, when Travis dropped to one knee on a beach in Montecito, surrounded by an over-the-top display of roses and candles that felt straight out of a movie. What followed only amplified the fantasy: a whirlwind Vegas wedding, a Santa Barbara ceremony, and finally that lavish Italian affair in Portofino that officially crowned them Hollywood's most passionate couple. But according to Scott, while the cameras captured passion and perfection, the real story behind closed doors looked very different.
Are you kind of getting over it, though?
Yeah, are you kind of getting over Kourtney?
Because she's, like, lagging.
No, I mean, you know, she's a tough girl. I mean, It's tough sometimes.
You're not getting over her, right?
No, I mean, I feel like I would never be over her.
Okay.
She's the love of my life, but, you know, I try to do everything to be there for her, and there's literally no appreciation for anything ever.
He claims the cracks were there from the very beginning. Moments of tension, clashing personalities, and quiet incompatibilities, carefully hidden behind curated Instagram posts and carefully staged public appearances. And as uncomfortable as Scott's comments may be, they don't come completely out of left field, because even Kourtney herself has admitted that the marriage isn't always smooth sailing. On an episode of The Kardashians, she openly confessed that she and Travis have very different personalities, revealing that it takes constant balancing just to keep things from tipping over. Which now has fans asking the same question Scott seems to be hinting at. Was Travis ever as solid as it looked, or was the fairy tale always held together by filters and fantasy? Kourtney herself has admitted that keeping up with Travis isn't exactly easy. She revealed that Travis lives life at full speed, trying to cram as much as possible into every single day, while she's now craving the complete opposite. After years of non-stop cameras and chaos, Kourtney has been vocal about wanting to slow down, stay grounded, and prioritize her family. And that's where the tension quietly creeps in. She confessed that she's constantly trying to balance slowing her own life down while still forcing herself to keep up with everything Travis wants to do. Travis thrives on impulsiveness, adventure, and always being on the move, while Kourtney is happiest at home in her comfort zone, far away from the noise. She even admitted that while they both want to make each other happy, their personalities couldn't be more different. He's restless and spontaneous while she's calm, settled, and content with stillness. And suddenly Disick's recent comments don't sound so out of pocket anymore.
Read every single thing in your phone.
Anything that you think that was bad, I can explain everything about.
Who's your wife that's in your phone?
Some girl that I dated in high school.
Why were you looking into my wife's eyes?
She came over to the house, and as a joke, we looked into each other's eyes as a joke. We're like, oh yeah, good to see you. And then over text message, it was back and forth oh, so good to look in your eyes.
Okay, well that's inappropriate.
No, you're right. That was just me being immature and just being stupid. Even talking and flirting with other girls is disrespectful to you, but in no way was that really.
Because beneath all the PDA, the fairy tale weddings, and the headline-grabbing romance, these deeper incompatibilities may have been there all along. To the public, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker were the definition of couple goals. A perfectly blended family, endless affection, and a love story that felt bigger than just the two of them. Their relationship became a cultural moment, symbolizing passion, unity, and stability in an era where most celebrity romances crash and burn. Multiple weddings, constant PDA, and a family-first narrative sold the image of a modern-day fairy tale. But according to Scott, that image didn't tell the full story. He suggests the cracks were present from the very beginning, quietly hidden beneath polished Instagram posts and carefully choreographed red carpet appearances. Those closest to the couple allegedly noticed subtle warning signs that didn't match the narrative of perfection. Old baggage from Travis's past relationships reportedly resurfaced at times, bringing unresolved emotions and tension into the marriage. Then there were family dynamics, because blending families is never as seamless as it looks online, and whispers began circulating that not everyone was as unified behind the scenes as they appeared in public. Even fans who once idolized them started noticing the disconnect. Online, they looked inseparable. In unfiltered moments, the energy felt different. Eyewitnesses claimed Travis's temper sometimes showed, while Kourtney appeared distracted, distant, or emotionally checked out, sparking quiet questions about whether the chemistry was fading.
I am going divorce Kourtney. These Kardashians are very cunning, and I can't tolerate them anymore. I like someone else, that's why I want to leave Kourtney. Living with Kourtney made me realize that I don't love her.
What once looked like an unbreakable love story now seems more like a relationship struggling under the weight of two completely opposite lifestyles, one chasing constant motion, the other longing for peace and stability. And just as they were settling into married life, old rumors about Travis's complicated past began creeping back into the spotlight. Allegations of infidelity and turbulent relationships resurfaced, casting shadows over the glossy image they worked so hard to maintain. According to Scott, these issues were never truly resolved, just buried beneath grand romantic gestures and extravagant weddings. But perhaps the most surprising part of all is Scott himself admitting that something inside him has shifted. He confessed that seeing Kourtney find happiness with Travis, even if it wasn't perfect, has given him a sense of closure he never expected, even if it came with a personal cost. Which now has fans wondering, was Travis ever the fairy tale everyone believed, or was it always a beautiful illusion waiting to crack? As painful as it's been, Scott admits it's also given him something he never really had before: closure. He confessed that watching Kourtney move on has finally forced him to do the same, even though it came with a heavy emotional cost. That moment of honesty hit fans hard, especially coming from someone who's long been painted as the outsider looking in on the Kardashian world. But Scott didn't sugarcoat the hardest part. What's hurt the most, he revealed, is the feeling of being quietly pushed out.
What the f*** are you doing here? Seriously? You're just like a whore. Such a tramp. Get your and get the f*** out of here.
Insecurity, then I feel like that I just don't like seeing you with another guy or a guy. It hurt me when you were with somebody else, and like waking up to like looking at pictures of you and like this guy you were dating, and you know, it was just like unhealthy, and like it just made me upset and sad, you know what I mean?
Despite sharing years of history with Kourtney and raising 3 children together, he's no longer included in family gatherings, and that distance has been difficult to swallow. It's not just a personal loss, it shows how deeply Kourtney and Travis's marriage has reshaped the entire family dynamic. And now, with divorce rumors swirling louder than ever, Scott's perspective has reopened a much bigger conversation. Was Kourtney and Travis's whirlwind romance always headed for trouble, or did the relentless pressure of fame speed up cracks that insiders claim were there from the very beginning? Fans are completely split. Some are still holding on to hope that Travis can weather the storm and come out stronger. Others believe the fairy tale has officially collided with reality. Both Kourtney and Travis have openly acknowledged that living life in the spotlight is a double-edged sword. Kourtney, who's always wrestled with fame and privacy, reflected on how stepping back from constant filming completely shifted her priorities. She admitted that life without cameras was a massive adjustment, but one that forced her to focus on what truly matters. Despite the challenges, she insists the personal growth and shared experiences have been worth it. Scott echoed that sentiment, admitting that while fame can be overwhelming and damaging, it has also brought undeniable blessings. He acknowledged that they all chose this life knowing the cost and learned to accept the spotlight as both a burden and a gift.
There's certain patterns to break.
And you think choosing bad partners is like a genetic thing?
Everyone thought they were watching a real-life fairy tale unfold. A whirlwind beach proposal straight out of a movie scene, rose petals kissing the sand, cameras snapping every perfect angle. It was passion on full display, non-stop kisses, over-the-top PDA, a dramatic pregnancy reveal that broke the internet. Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian were sold as untouchable. The couple everyone pointed at and said, that's what real happiness looks like. But here's the thing about fairy tales, they usually leave out the mess, because behind those perfectly curated Instagram posts and glossy reality TV moments, another story was quietly brewing, and it wasn't nearly as picture perfect. Whispers started circulating, then murmurs turned into rumors. Rumors of betrayal, of unresolved family tension that refused to stay buried, of old wounds reopening and cracks forming beneath that polished Kardashian sheen. Suddenly, the flawless image didn't look so flawless anymore. Under all the glitz and public obsession, they weren't just a rock star drummer and a reality TV queen. They were 2 deeply complicated people trying to make love survive under a microscope, where every argument becomes a headline, every past mistake gets dragged back into the spotlight, and every rumor spreads like wildfire. And let's be honest, when that spotlight gets too intense, it doesn't just shine, it scorches. For Travis and Kourtney, the fiery passion that once felt unstoppable began to flicker. Secrets from the past started crawling out of the shadows. Family dynamics grew tense, then explosive, and what once looked like a forever kind of love suddenly felt a lot more fragile than anyone wanted to admit. Because in the Kardashian universe, no love story stays perfect for long, and this one was no exception.
I feel like I want to cry.
Why?
just because it's like, it gives me anxiety. Because I'm just like, it makes you really like analyze just like where you're at. And then I'm like, sometimes like, what am I doing?
Fans started whispering the question no one wanted to ask out loud. Was this iconic love story actually built to last, or was it all smoke mirrors and perfectly timed camera angles? Was Travis's chaotic past finally catching up to him? Was Kourtney still haunted by the shadow of Kim, a shadow that has followed her entire life? Or was it simply the brutal truth that living perfect for the cameras eventually destroys whatever is real behind the scenes? Those questions began gnawing at the fairy tale, and suddenly the cracks weren't just rumors anymore, they were visible. When they first came together, it felt unreal, almost cosmic. For years, they'd been nothing more than neighbors in Calabasas, the heavily tattooed, reckless rock star and the calm, controlled Kardashian sister who always played it safe. Two totally different worlds coexisting side by side. But the moment friendship sparked into something more, the world was hooked. Eyes glued, mouths open, nobody could look away. And once that flame ignited, it spread fast. Like wildfire, there was no easing into it, no slow burn. Barely a year later, Travis made his grand move. On a golden California beach, surrounded by flickering candlelight and oceans of roses, he dropped to one knee. It was cinematic, unreal, the kind of proposal you'd expect in a blockbuster romance, not real life. The internet lost it. Tabloids exploded. Headlines screamed that Kourtney Kardashian had finally found her forever. The clip went viral within minutes. Fans crowned it magical, relationship goals, untouchable. And for a brief shining moment, it really did feel like this was a love story nothing and no one could destroy.
Kourtney Kardashian should really take some notes from Shanna Moakler because Travis Barker had an incredibly toxic marriage with Shanna. He berated her and embarrassed her on national television and even accused her of being a terrible mother. Shanna never really stood a chance against Travis, and ultimately, her kids turned against her. Since then, she's warned Kourtney about Travis's past and that he could easily make her life a living hell if he wanted to.
But behind the curtain, a very different script was already rolling. And it was messy. The whirlwind didn't slow down, it intensified. Families blended in a way Hollywood rarely gets right. Kourtney's kids and Travis's children clicked instantly, like they'd been waiting for each other all along. No awkward transitions, no forced smiles. For once, a blended celebrity family looked natural, almost suspiciously perfect. Too perfect. Then came the weddings, plural, because one ceremony just wasn't enough. A neon-soaked Vegas night. Then a jaw-dropping Italian spectacle complete with castles, couture gowns, and endless roses. Every vow was a headline. Every kiss a photo op. Every moment carefully curated to scream we're madly, obsessively in love. And fans ate it up. When Kourtney revealed her pregnancy, the narrative sealed itself. She looked radiant, untouchable, happier than she'd ever been. And when their son Rocky arrived in late 2023, the internet officially crowned them soulmates for life. The ultimate Hollywood climax, proof that true love still exists. But fairy tales don't always survive once the cameras shut off. Behind the designer gowns and flawless Instagram grids, tiny fractures were already forming. Hairline cracks that would soon split into headlines of their own. While the world swooned over their picture-perfect union, Kourtney felt something shift. A discomfort she couldn't shake. A truth creeping in, slow and dark. Because no matter how perfect the present looks, the past has a nasty habit of clawing its way back, dragging secrets, rumors, and unfinished business along with it. And for Travis and Kourtney, that past wasn't subtle. It was loud. It all traced back to Travis's own words written long before Kourtney was ever in the picture. In his tell-all memoir, he openly admitted he once had a crush on none other than Kim Kardashian, Kourtney's younger sister.
New evidence suggesting that Kim Kardashian actually did hook up with Travis Barker has just resurfaced.
To outsiders, it sounded harmless. A throwaway confession, no big deal. But for Kourtney, it was like ripping open a wound that never truly healed. Because it didn't stop there. According to Travis's ex-wife Shanna Moakler, that crush wasn't just some innocent footnote. She claimed the obsession ran deeper, much deeper. And once those old revelations resurfaced, the fairy tale didn't just crack, it started to unravel.
The affair with Kim Kardashian started.
It started after the affair with Paris Hilton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There comes Paris again.
Yeah, there comes Paris. And I had already got, like, mind you, in that club, I had gotten Paris Hilton's face, you know, like, well, when Oscar and I were having a conversation, she bopped in, and I was like, aren't you fucking this one here? Aren't you fucking this one? And she was like, I don't even know him. I'm like, yeah, you do. And so she leaves, and, you know, he and I continued arguing, Oscar and I left. So she and I had already had words like that night, and then, yeah, I don't know, he and I were arguing, and we kind of, like, separated, but we were still living in the same house.
She didn't just hint at it, she outright accused him of it. Years earlier, Travis's ex-wife claimed he had crossed the line with Kim Kardashian while they were still together. Travis shut that accusation down fast, flatly denying any affair. But here's where things got uncomfortable. While he denied cheating, he never denied the attraction. He openly admitted he found Kim beautiful. And to fans, that kind of blunt honesty might have sounded refreshing. Mature, even, but for Kourtney, it was pure poison. Suddenly, family gatherings weren't cozy dinners filled with laughter and bonding. They were loaded with tension, awkward silences, lingering looks, questions Kourtney couldn't shut off in her own head. And the worst part, all of this resurfaced right as she and Travis were trying to build a brand new life together. A clean slate that wasn't so clean after all. Fans immediately went into detective mode. Was Travis's lingering admiration for Kim quietly fueling the long-standing rivalry between the sisters? Was he, without even realizing it, pouring gasoline on a fire that had already burned through the Kardashian family for years on television? Even Travis looked worn down by the constant chatter. In interviews, he brushed the rumors off as ridiculous, saying he only shared pieces of his past because he wanted to finally move forward. He insisted nothing ever crossed the line with Kim, just innocent conversations, nothing more. But for Kourtney, hearing her own husband casually admit he once desired her sister wasn't honesty, it was a crack in the foundation. And once trust starts cracking, everything starts feeling unstable. Mix that with old accusations, sister loyalty, and the unforgiving Kardashian spotlight, and suddenly even the most untouchable love story starts looking fragile. Because while the world saw endless roses and fairy tale romance behind closed doors, Kourtney was haunted by a new question. If Travis was bold enough to confess this about Kim, what else was buried in his past? And let's be real, Kourtney and Kim's relationship has never been simple. For years, fans have watched it swing like a roller coaster. Sisters, business partners, rivals, love tangled with competition. But Travis's history didn't just stir the pot, it set the whole kitchen on fire. The Kardashians' Hulu trailers teased exactly that energy. Quick cuts, heavy music, lingering close-ups, all hinting that the tension between the sisters wasn't magically resolved. Sure, cameras captured moments of reconciliation like that emotional sit-down where they promised to move forward, but glossy editing can only hide so much, because promises made on camera don't always survive when the spotlight fades. Then Kourtney poured fuel on the fire herself. On Kim's birthday, she posted a sweet, emotional tribute that fans rushed to label a peace offering. But just weeks later, jaws hit the floor. Halloween rolled around and Kourtney showed up dressed as Kim. Not just any Kim look, she went full cosplay, recreating Kim's infamous 2013 floral Met Gala dress. Slick ponytail, and yes, a fake pregnant belly. The caption? Freaky Friday. The internet exploded. Was it sisterly humor? Or shade wrapped in a costume? Fans were split down the middle. Some saw it as classic Kardashian irony, proof they were finally laughing at their messy history. Others swore it was calculated, a subtle reminder that Kourtney hadn't forgotten Travis's old crush, and she wasn't letting the world forget it either. Either way, the headlines took off, and suddenly the spotlight shifted from Travis and Kourtney's love story back to the never-ending Kardashian family drama. Because in this family, nothing stays private, it becomes content. Storylines, branding, and that's exactly why millions can't stop watching. As fans argued over whether the costume was funny or petty, one thing was undeniable: the tension between Kourtney and Kim wasn't gone. If anything, it was creeping deeper, seeping into Kourtney's marriage itself. People started asking the uncomfortable question, was Travis actually bridging the family divide, or tearing it open even wider? But the deepest cracks weren't just between the sisters, they were inside the marriage, and when you trace it all back, the root becomes painfully clear. Travis's reputation with loyalty has never been spotless. Long before he ever said "I do" to Kourtney, Travis carried a shadow he couldn't outrun. a history tangled with temptation, cheating, and chaotic relationships. His marriage to Shanna Moakler was famously explosive. Even while raising kids together, Travis later admitted he wasn't faithful. In interviews, he confessed to stepping out more than once. Shanna went even further, claiming the number of women reached double digits, 13. Whether exaggerated or not, the label stuck. And it didn't start there. Even in his first marriage to Melissa Kennedy, Travis admitted monogamy was a battle he didn't always win. So when fans look at Kourtney now, glowing, married, playing the role of happily ever after, the question lingers in the background like a ticking clock. Is this truly the end of Travis's old patterns, or just another chapter waiting to repeat itself?
So, was taking his last name a given? Were you positive that was going to happen, or did you think about that for a while?
It was a given. Yeah, it was just a given. It wasn't a thought.
Travis has never hidden who he is. He said it himself. Freedom matters to him, and settling down has never come naturally. To some people, that kind of blunt honesty sounds refreshing. But to someone trying to build a future with him, it's chilling. So when he stood beside Kourtney, whispering forever promises, skeptics weren't buying it. And if we're being honest, neither was Kourtney, not completely. Love can blind you, but when your partner has openly admitted to breaking vows before, a quiet fear lingers. If it happened then, what's stopping it from happening again? Fans started asking the uncomfortable question, was Travis truly committed this time, or was he just caught up in the Kardashian whirlwind? Suddenly, the non-stop PDA didn't feel romantic anymore. Every exaggerated kiss, every dramatic handhold, every tongue-out red carpet moment, what once screamed passion, now felt like performance, less authentic love, more episode of the Travis Barker Show. And then came the bigger question that really set the internet on fire: who actually held the power in this marriage?